salutations, my dearest friends. My name is Samantha, and I don't know how to title this video. So spooky season is upon us. It is almost October 1st. I know things are really different this year, but I feel like we're all really excited about the fall season. It's something to look forward to, and it's always fun to kind of change up our TBR during this season. Definitely feeling those vibes. I definitely want to read paranormal books, spooky books, but the thing is, I'm a huge scaredy cat. I know I've mentioned that on my channel before. This is definitely not my vibe. I don't even read like romantic suspense because I'm a scaredy cat. I'm the type of person that if I read anything horror, thriller, mystery, suspense, anything that has like that jump factor, that creepy factor, I will get scared. And not only will I get scared, but like, I need to sleep with the lights on. Okay, I'm checking behind my car to see if someone's hiding in my back seat. I am thinking I'm seeing ghosts at the foot of my bed. I'm that type of scaredy cat, and I have a long story that kind of goes with that. Like, I've seen ghosts before. I definitely know that stuff is real, so I don't mess with it. Basically, I scroll through Instagram and I see everyone posting their October TBRs, very fall vibes, fall colors. I see all of these fun readathons during this time, and I just feel left out. I want to participate. So I said all that to say this. This is a video, a very specific video, where I'm going to give you guys some recommendations for spooky books for scaredy cats. That's what I'm titling this video. If you have a better title, please let me know. I'm going to be talking about 5 books that I think are just really atmospheric, really great to read during the fall season. You can read these anytime you want. I feel like they're just like that little bit of a spooky vibe. Very nice to read during the fall, but they're not scary because I don't want to be scared. I'm a scaredy cat. They're not going to give me nightmares, and I really enjoyed these books. So that is what we're going to do. I know I'm not the only one. I know I am not the only one who wants to be involved in this genre, wants to participate in these fun readathons, but is just scared. You know, like scared. First up is Strange Grace by Tessa Gratton. I will never stop recommending this book. This is probably, if not my favorite book, definitely in the top 3. I adore this book. It is so spectacular. If you get nothing from this video, get this recommendation because it's amazing. Okay. Shall we talk about it? I'm going to read like a little blurb that's on Goodreads because I think it describes this book really well. It says, once a witch made a pact with the devil. The legend says they loved each other, but can that story be trusted at all? So basically what this story is that this town is a very secluded town, and years ago, a witch made a pact with a devil to ensure the town's prosperity. Every couple of years, I think it's every 7 years, they sacrifice this chosen boy to participate in this race. They send them into something that's called the Devil's Forest, and the devil, this animalistic beast, chases them. Some boys make it out, some boys don't, but that's the sacrifice this town makes to ensure their prosperity, and they've been doing it for years. What ends up happening is something goes wrong with the previous bargain. They can tell something's not right, and the sacrifice is coming sooner and sooner. That is where our 3 characters come in, and they basically band together to figure out what's going on. All friends, and what I love about this book so much, I know it's not a romance, but it has one of the most well-written polyamorous relationships ever. Like, this is just like the cream of the crop, truly. Like polyamorous relationships where all of the characters are together. It's not like a love triangle situation. They're all in a relationship. It's just really beautiful. I think you guys would love this book. The writing is magical. It feels very lyrical. Don't normally say this, but this is kind of like one of those stories that I would recommend listening to the audiobook as you're reading the book. It just really gives that whole atmospheric vibe. The narrator does such a fantastic job narrating this story. So love it. Love this cover. It's beautiful. I know we talked about this book for a really long time. It's supposed to be a quick video, but this is like one of my favorite books ever, so I cannot help but gush about it. The next one, I don't have this book because I listened to an audiobook. This is The One by John Mars. The audiobook is amazing for this book. I'm just going to go ahead and say that. If you read this book, I highly recommend the audiobook because the story is told in multiple different perspectives, and it is a full cast audiobook, so you get different voices for each chapter. Each perspective follows a group of people in this society where there is an app created for you to find your soul soulmate based on your blood. Like, there's science behind it, and this app is destined to find the one person that you are supposed to be with. These people choose to take part of it and kind of find their soulmate, and it's just really interesting. One person is a serial killer and you follow his perspective, which just weird. Another person is already in a relationship, and then he actually gets paired with a guy, and he never considered himself gay, so he was just kind of like going through all of the emotions of that, and it's just so good. I don't want to say anything else. I feel like you just need to read it to see how everything unfolds. Interesting. It's suspenseful. Every single chapter kind of leaves you on like a, like, what's going to happen next? Kind of like a cliffhanger. Every single chapter, there's a cliffhanger. Something big is happening. This is the type of book that you're just going to like eat up, if that makes sense. We have These Witches Don't Burn by Isabel Sterling. This follows Hannah, who is a teenage witch who is living in Salem, Massachusetts, which is very popular for like all the witch trials and burnings. Anyways, she is a real witch, and in this world, witches have different powers. So you have like elemental witches, a fire witch, a water witch, air witch, etc., etc. She is considered like one of the good witches, but in this community there are bad witches, and those are like the blood witches who use like blood and spells to bind people. And then around her town, all of these mysterious things start happening, and she starts to realize that a blood witch is potentially in the town. There's this new mysterious girl that she's having some attractions to. She has to team up with her ex-girlfriend to find out about the blood witch and what is happening in their town. I just love the writing, and it felt like so perfect, and just gay witches. Like, who wouldn't love this? There is a second book, which for some reason I thought I had, but I don't. I literally am going to buy it after I film this video. There is a second book to this series because this book ends in a little bit of a cliffhanger, so just keep that in mind that this book does end in a cliffhanger. And I am really looking forward to reading the second book. More recommendations. The next one is Inspection by Josh Malerman. This is another one that I read in the audiobook, and I really enjoyed the audiobook. This follows Jay, who is a student in this like prestigious academy, and he lives with a bunch of other boys who are called the Alphabet Boys, so like A through Z are their names essentially. And it's really interesting because it's more like a social experiment. So these boys don't know anything about the outside world. Anything. They were raised and born in this compound, and it's like even taken to the extent that they don't even know that females exist. They only know the world that is being created for them, and it's more so like a social experiment to see how they would excel in like mathematics and engineering, and like how creative they can be if there are no like outside distractions of the other sex, of like the female sex. It's not spooky, it's not scary, but it has an almost unsettling feeling. I would definitely recommend not reading the synopsis of this book because Goodreads gives way too much information, like way too much information. I would just go into this book blind and kind of just go for the ride. All that you need to know is it follows Jay, who's a part of this school where it's just him and his brothers called the Alphabet Boys. And he starts to become curious about what is outside of the compound, what is outside of what they're being taught, and he realizes that there is being so much hidden from them. So, really enjoyed this book. So next up is my last recommendation, and that is Undead Girl Gang by Lily Anderson. This is another witchy story. This follows a teenage witch named Mila, and in the town that she lives in, 3 girls end up dying, and one of them is her best friend named Riley. When these 3 girls die, it's made to seem like they were a part of like this best friend suicide pact, but Mila knows that's not the case because she was best friends with one of the girls, and she knows that that girl would have never done something like that, so she's really just trying to figure out the truth, figure out who their killer is, and kind of bring justice. So because she is a teenage aspiring witch, she actually does a spell to bring her best friend back, or to find out who the killer is, and she accidentally brings those 3 girls back to life, and they become the Undead Girl Gang, as the title suggests. And those 3 girls kind of help Mila to find their killer and find out what happened to them. Absolutely loved it. Loved the ending. Our main character is curvy, and I love seeing a curvy heroine. So yeah, this was just a really great book, and I highly recommend reading it. And also, shameless plug, I did a makeup look inspired by this book, because in this book the girls go from like looking normal to looking like zombies, which I just think is so fun. So I'll put that on the screen so you guys can see, but definitely recommend this book. If you guys are scaredy cats like me, now you have some books to read. I know this is like a very specific book recommendation, and most of you are probably like, Samantha, these books aren't remotely scary, like chill out. They're not. I know. I'm weird and I just get scared very easily. So I need to read books that dip the toe into spooky, but don't go like full dive, because then I will get scared. Okay. I said that already. I'm rambling. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day to spend time with me. It means the world to me. I hope you guys are all staying happy and healthy. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Stay spooky, friends. Bye.